there are a specific group of people from when I did my deep dive that are more at risk than the normal person, and that's the people that got the COVID jab. Now, I know probably a decent amount of people that watch me got the COVID jab, so I don't want to just make this completely just fear porn everybody and fear monger, because who the hell wants to even, I don't know. I don't want to just drown everyone with negativity all day. That's not fun. But I'm going to give you guys the real and the raw. We'll get into that in a second. I shot the Bill Gates connection. There is a connection with Bill Gates in this too, with the Corvac. There's a company called Corvac. I guess they're listed on the stock exchange, and they were in a downtrend in a couple of days before the stock started pushing up, like there's been insiders loading up on it. And I guess they sell and have access to one of the vaccines. I don't know. We'll see. Live shows coming soon. Now, the only thing with the live show is it's going to be hard having consistent content because I'm not a big politic guy, and I don't sit and just turn on the news and see all the new politicians who are running for governor and Congress seats and running for Senate. I'm not into all that because I don't play I don't subscribe to politics at all in general. To me, it's all just, as Bill Cooper would say, it's like an eagle. You got the left wing and you got the right wing, but it's still on that. It's still on the same eagle. So I don't. It's gonna definitely be hard to gather content. I got to figure a way where I can go live and actually bring you guys something. I'm pretty sure once a week I'll be able to put some stuff together. Maybe it won't be more of a news. I got to figure it out because I got to keep the deep dive separate from to keep the short form going. So basically, what I do now is I turn the camera on. I go over kind of what's trending, and then I set it up so I do my deep dive before I turn the cameras on. I put it on my phone. I go over it, and then I chop it up, and I put it on the short form. Now with the lives, I can't really rehearse how I would because it's a live show. No one wants to see me pause for 30, 45 seconds, reword a couple things, and then continue. That's how sometimes you'll see that these YouTube videos I put up are pretty, they're cut up a lot, and that's so you guys, it kind of flows through. So with the lives, I'm gonna have to just, I'm not gonna really be able to translate it as much and get those viral short form videos how I do now. Those short form videos are heavily edited. I'm putting everything I'm talking about. I'm showing the proof in it. I'm cutting it up, making sure there's not over 1 second of gap time because I only get 3 minutes for the reels. So I got to try to figure out and squeeze everything in 3 minutes. And that can get tricky sometimes because I'll talk about one thing for 8, 9 minutes that even after I cut, it's 8, 9 minutes. And I got to take it and put it into 3. So it can be a bit tricky. But I don't know. Maybe we go on the lives and we talk about, the news is so just fugazi. Who wants to sit here and listen to me talk about news? So maybe, I don't know, we'll do deep dives into stuff that could be more like alien related, shit that I'm not really worried about. I'll take the Bob Can Count Clips page that I got. I had someone, because I thought I was going to probably get my Instagram taken down. So I was having someone re-upload everything that I posted onto a backup account, but I read that can hurt the main page because it's the same video and then it won't push out as hard on the main page, and sometimes the backup page will go crazier and it'll take from the main. So I paused on that. I do have a decent following. I don't know. I'll probably change it. It's called Bob Can Count Clips. I'll probably just make it Bob Can Count Live, and then I'll take some of the things I talk about from live. It won't be as edited, and then I'll just put the little short couple minute clips onto there. So that'll be fun. Camera came in. I got the Sony. I'm not using it right now. I don't have it set up yet because it is a lot to set up. The Sony EV10, I believe. I got it used, eBay. You know how I roll. And then I got it, so I'm going to be able to use that while we go live. It should look pretty good. I'll start using that for the short form stuff too once I get everything flowing and figure it out. I need to get an intro made, everything else. So if anyone that watches this knows how to make intros and artwork, I'd rather put money in your pocket than going to someone else that doesn't really watch or anything, going to Fiverr or whatever and paying someone overseas to make me something. I'd rather pay you guys to do it. So if you do specialize in art, Photoshop, that type of stuff, message me on Instagram. I'll pay you and we can work. So I do want to set up though how when I go live, you guys can I'll talk about what I talk about, and then this is kind of copying Nick Fuentes a little bit, but where after he talks and does his show at the end, he'll let the people that are watching ask questions and everything. And after they donate, so I'll probably make it to where it's like $1, $2. I'm not gonna. There's no point. There probably won't be that many questions to where I can just put it to wherever. I'll make the minimum $1, and you can ask a question, and I'll answer it, and I'll go over it. But it's like guys like Nick Fuentes, he can go live every day because you can talk about politics every day. I don't get really that deep into the politics shit. It's not my thing. So it's not going to be a politics show. So I don't know. I haven't really watched a lot of Ian Carroll stuff. Maybe I should see how he runs his. I think he goes over Twitter clips and gives his input. That might be something I'll look into. Maybe try to make it a little bit similar. I'll have it so where I'll have the computer set up, and then it'll be on like the bottom right. Boom. Get it cooking. Maybe I'll have a format where it like shrinks me a little bit, and then we put what we're watching on the side. Read chat. We'll figure it out. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Also, boots on the ground. I do want to. So I have people. I want to make mini documentaries, but I don't know. I don't want to copy like Tommy G. Shout out Tommy G. Tommy G's, I don't want to say supporter of the show, but he follows, and I'm not going to say we message back and forth like we're cool and shit, but we've messaged each other, and he is a bit of my inspiration for the documentaries. Now I don't know if going to like the hood is cool, but I feel like that's kind of played out. Everyone's gone to damn near every hood. I'm not scared to go to the hood. The high school I went to was in the hood, so, and that's after when school ended. That's where, I'm not saying I was a hood rat or anything, but I'm good in the hood I was around. So, but I don't know if I'd be good in every hood. I don't know. I definitely would pull up, but I do got people in New York that want me to go to the Bronx and kind of show how they're living. Maybe I go out there for a weekend. I don't want that to be the first video, but this would be like an example. This is kind of already lined up. It probably will be something I'll do just to test and see how it goes. Pull up, see how they're living. Maybe they take me. I told them take me to a dice game, a big dice game, not like where they're shooting $5 craps, but like a bigger dice game where they're betting big money. Take me to the hood, and maybe have one of their families cook one of their struggle meals. I'm sure, but the struggle meals are fire. I'm not even dissing it at all. Maybe we go and I get a struggle meal, then they take me to one of their delis, show me what their day-to-day is. But like I said, pulling up to the hood's kind of played out to a degree. But something, I do want to pull up on one of these data centers that are being built, because I hear people are having a lot of issue with their water. Their sinks aren't running, their water's dirty. A lot of this water is going straight to these data centers. You got one of these massive data centers that Kevin O'Leary's building that's ginormous. Like, it's like the size of a city. Now it's making me think, are these really data centers? Do they have to be that big? Or are these really centers that are going to be set up for FEMA? Where maybe is this virus connected to all these data centers being built? But I don't think so, because they are being built right on top of water, like where underground water is. So I don't think I've seen a couple people talk about that. Oh, the data centers are really going to be spots where they're going to bring and gather everyone that's against getting the new vaccine, or people that are against when the military takes over and martial law comes in. That's where they'll bring the people. I don't know. I don't think it's that, because like I said, I seen a heat map where a lot of them are being built on top of water. But yeah, like I said, I want to pull up to a data center being built, maybe interview communities that are close to it, see what their opinion is on it, fly out for a day or two, head right back. I think that could be solid. Some solid content. Another place would be, I want to pull up to Hurricane Helen. I believe that's the name of the hurricane, where that city got destroyed. I'm talking about the mountainsides are cratered in, houses, it's still messed up over there. And maybe see how those people are adjusting to their life, because I know some people are still living in that area, and I don't even know how they're doing it. So maybe pull up there. That'd probably be some good ass content, because the land over there, the terrain is destroyed. And I feel like that'd be solid. I am a bit more chatty now. We'll see. I'm trying to get it. I don't want to just put out 15, 16-minute videos. So I am off. I drank a whole Celsius. It's 3 a.m. right now. I did want to shoot earlier, but like I said, when I put what I'm talking about together, it takes a lot of time. So when we get into this Hantavirus deal, you're going to see that I really dug into this. And I don't want to say, I have to fact check most of everything I'm saying. I got to make sure it's accurate, because I don't want to go out there and start spreading misinformation. Now, I could probably spin a couple things and make videos go even crazier, but I don't want to just put out lies. That's not what I'm here for. I'm trying to push the truth. I'm not really here. If it gets a lot of views, it gets a lot of views. Yeah, that's nice. It'll help me grow, but I don't know. That's because you'll see a lot of these creators, they'll spin stuff where it, like, I'm not going to say specific names, but people the truthers aren't really, they're doing it for clout too at the same time. Like I said, the clout is cool, but that's not what I'm doing this for. I'm just spreading knowledge. And I'm not racist, like I just told you guys. I seen a lot of my friends are from the hood and grew up struggling. So I can't, immigration, I'll touch on my immigration, what I think of it. I don't think that it should really be, if you can get here, I think it's fair game, because you got to look at it like this. If you're born here, you are lucky to born here. And some of my OG viewers have heard me talk about this before. I've deleted some of my older videos because they were just slop. And I didn't want to keep them out. But I'll put this out there again. I don't think that just because you're born here, a lot of people have a certain type of stigma, like they don't want anyone of color. Like there's a lot of, like, you could say the white nationalist movement, like kind of like the Nick Fuentes movement, even though he's Hispanic, which doesn't make sense to me. They don't want anyone here but whites. They're racist. And they think that people are taking all their jobs and shit. But a lot of it is, that's not facts. Immigrants are the backbone of the working economy here. And those people come and spend money at your shops, at your businesses. It's not like they hoard the money. Yes, of course, they make money and they send it back to their people in their country and shit, but they still spend money here. And it's not like, yeah, you get to save money. They're not saving money. They're sending it back over there. So like, what's the difference? You're hoarding your money, but they're spreading it back to their family. That's no difference to me. So the immigration shit is kind of troll. If you can get here, fair game. Now, do I think it's just open border, let everyone through? I don't know. Maybe we do a background check and see if, try to do, like, see if they were bad in their country. Of course, if they were killing people and doing crazy acts in their country, then yeah, probably don't let them in. Not probably don't let them in. I can agree upon that, but just like, you were born here by luck. If you're in their shoes, you can't tell me that you wouldn't do everything you can to try to make your life better or your family's life better. And that's all they're really trying to do. Chase their dreams. They just want to chase their dreams at the end of the day. And you can't fault anyone for that. So especially like third world countries, and that's what most people complain about, is the people that are coming from third world countries. They don't complain about people coming from these other countries that are first world. They don't care. They only want to hate on the people that are coming from third world. It's just like, bro, if you've seen how they really live over there, go and live over there for a month. Then formulate your own opinion. Because a lot of these people just came up here and they've had everything handed to them. They don't have to worry about too much. They don't have to worry about cartels and unfair governments. A lot of places don't even have freedom of speech. We got freedom of speech. We got Second Amendment. You can carry your gun. Protection, most states. So, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling and just going around. I don't have anything on the schedule other than this Hantavirus dive, because this was a lot of digging. But yeah, we'll start cooking up with the lives, and you guys can ask questions, and I'll do my best to give you my opinion. I still do know a little bit about politics and shit, so you can ask questions about it, but that's not my thing. I don't vote. I've never voted in my life. I remember, I think it was, 2016. I couldn't vote in 2016. 2020, they, my family, everyone was telling me, go vote. You need to put your vote in, blah, blah, blah. I'm not voting for the bullshit. I'm not contributing that to the bullshit, because my whole thing was, they can put you in categories also. Besides the point that, okay, say you do want to go vote, you do have a favorite, which I don't. I never do have a favorite. It's all theater. But say you have a favorite, and now you're in that database, so when the next people come in, it can be weaponized against you. And I don't want to get too wacky, but that's how they select their MK Ultra patients. And they can kind of spin and push narratives upon certain people just off who they vote off of. So if you've already voted before, this is rare. I'm pretty sure most people have put a vote in. I'm pretty sure the people that watch me, the demographic is mostly like mid-20s and up. So I'm pretty sure everyone's voted. But if I were you, I'd stop. I'd quit vote. I'd stop voting. There's no point. Everything's already pre-selected and scripted. So I don't subscribe to theater. It's not my thing. I've read parts of Behold a Pale Horse, made by William Cooper. I do recommend people go and watch William Cooper, his interviews. I do need to read that full book. Part of that, I know there's a missing chapter out of the book online, so if you get like one of the rare copies, I think they only have it in the hard copies now. Like if you order a hard copy now, that chapter's still missing. and some of the text it's not exactly what he said. But if you can find one of his old hardcover books, those are gold. I'm pretty sure they resell for a couple $100s too. So like if you're in a Goodwill, always go to the book section and just go check for that rare Behold a Pale Horse book. But I do want to see if I can get my hands on that. Maybe I will one day spend the money on that and go and grab his actual book. But that's the next book I do need to read. I have been trying to read more. I just did buy a David Wilcox book. Now I've watched some of the David Wilcox interviews, and he's no Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper's the absolute goat when it comes to the script. David Wilcox is more of I don't know. He subscribed heavy to the 4chan and 8chan, or not 4chan, 8chan, the QAnon movement. And the QAnon movement was just a massive psyop. They were saying mass arrests were gonna happen, and that's kind of what he preached. Everything that David talked about was kind of based off QAnon. So he did lose a bit of credibility for me just because he's getting most of his info from there, but he did talk about some crazy shit. I did talk about in my Patreon what really happened to David Wilcox. It's not gonna I can't talk about it publicly, but I kind of how it went down. That's in there. It was just like I wrote a couple paragraphs about it, like 2 paragraphs. Just broke it down real quick. Now he was a truther though. He meant good. I don't think he ever really sold out for money per se. I know he was on TV at one point, and to get on TV, you kind of have to be a Mason. You kind of have to be in the club to get on like big channels. Wasn't he on the History Channel, like Ancient Aliens or something like that for a while? I know he was on Gaia, the GAIA, like the massive conspiracy shit where it's just a lot of slop on there. He was on there making good money, and then I'm pretty sure a guy came to him and offered him a bunch of money to go and help build these free energy type of vehicles, and he quit his massive job where he was making a chunk of money, and that never panned out. Pretty sure he was lied to. I don't know if the person that really got him off the air and got him off Gaia, if that was on purpose to make him stop. But yeah, I got, like I said, before I got sidetracked, I do have his book, so I'm gonna read. I think it's called the Synchronicity, something like that. I went to a bookstore and I bought like 6 or 7 books. So I do need to read more and get more like esoteric knowledge. That's kind of the only reason I don't read for entertainment. My when we were at the book club, at the bookstore, there, my lady was talking about, hey, this, like, she was like science fiction novels and shit like that. Why don't you read? Like, no, I can't get myself to read for entertainment. I can only read to learn. That's the only way I can sit down and read. So esoteric knowledge, kind of what they practiced back in the day, gnosis, Gnosticism, shit like that. I do like reading about kind of how your brain controls this reality. Mind over matter, mind before matter, not matter before mind. Matter before mind is the atheistic viewpoint, which means matter and the universe was created before thought. And if you think it's mind before matter, then that's where God comes in. And the Egyptians and the secret mystery schools all teach that mind was before matter. So I am going to, like, not necessarily start teaching about esoteric knowledge, but I kind of want to just start digging in and showing you guys what the mystery schools teach, because I have been reading a lot about mystery schools and how that works. Make sure my mic's loud enough. And give out the knowledge that they gatekeep. I don't think, and it's not really necessarily like cheat codes like GTA. You put in left, right, up, down, triangle, circle, or if you write numbers on a piece of paper and you look at those numbers and it manifests into something. I know there was like CIA documents where they're talking about, oh, these specific numbers, if you think these specific numbers in order, then you'll manifest certain things into your reality. I'm not saying that, more of like a controlling your thoughts and your emotions, and words are swords. I mean, you take the word words, it's an anagram of swords. So you got to be careful with your words and with your thoughts, because that does control your entire reality, and 100% does. Also, maybe I do want to start talking about reincarnation. Do a reincarnation deep dive. That might be a live I do have a list of everything that I do want to go over, and it's a big list. It's old. Some of it's older, but there's some really good books on reincarnation, and I've started reading and getting into some of it. And reincarnation, I hate to say it, is 100% real. I mean, you got kids that will say, "Hey, I died in this field," give you a name, how they died, and there's historical documents about a person they've named that died in a certain way. You got kids that have weird fears. When you're a kid, you have like, say you have like a rare fear of, you're super scared of heights. Like there was a kid that said that he died in the World Trade Center. I remember I watched this video, and he was petrified of heights, and that he had to jump off, and that's how he died. And a lot of times when you're a kid, you remember your past lives before you age, and those memories are still there. Now, you don't really see a lot of when you get to your adult age, it kind of dwindles out of you. But like that's why people say when you're heading to the light, don't head to the light, because the light is where you reincarnate at. But it's like, okay, if you don't head to the light, what is it? Do you become a ghost? Is that why there's ghosts? Because ghosts are real. I don't know if you've ever been to a haunted place. I don't know. There's a YouTube channel. It's called Sam. Their names are Sam and Colby. I don't know if I don't think that's the name of the channel, but Sam and Colby. I've watched a couple of their videos, and they'll go ghost hunt, and these things talk to them back. That'd be something I'd do too, pulling up to these places and entertaining that. But ghosts are real. That's something when I go on vacation, and when I've gone to certain places, I want to go, and I do that. I know I didn't record it, but these things are real. They got these radio type of dealios where I guess these ghosts are able to get on the frequency of these machines, these transmitters, and you could ask it questions and it answers. And it's not like a machine that just says one or two words. Or another thing was they got bells, and they're able to ring these bells and shit. When you ask it questions, you tell it, ring it twice for yes, ring it once for no, and this bell's able to ring 100 times if you want, and it'll just ring. Like I don't know, it's crazy shit. So ghosts are real. Now, is that what happens when you don't go to the light? That's up for debate. I don't know, but that's kind of what would make sense to me. They don't want to leave. So, and it's a lot of times these ghosts are just people that died in a tragic way, that weren't ready to die, and they're not ready to leave, and they end up staying. So I don't know, maybe they didn't want to go to the light. There's a subreddit where you can go, and people like take pictures at grave sites, and you'll see these shadow figures walking or hiding behind gravestones. You got Teslas that'll drive by these cemeteries, and they'll ping outlines of people that are walking through there. So And a lot of, like I said, a lot of times what they say is the professional ghost people, they say these people died in tragic ways and they don't want to leave. So is going to the light, is that why babies cry when they first come? I don't know. That's because you go to the light and then you come out and you're crying because now you're in a whole different life. So I am that there's proof of that. I like proof. And that's why I don't subscribe to these Abrahamic religions. There's not a lot of proof behind it. I like proof, reincarnation. It shows me. That's why I'm more on the Gnostic side. I know a lot of people are going to think Gnosticism is very close to Satanism because it's kind of a negative outlook on this world. Because a lot of Gnostics believe that this is a kind of a trap and you can't really break out of it. But I don't know if it's necessarily a trap. I think it's maybe more of just a learning lesson. We're here to learn. You take each life and you learn and get different aspects and get a different viewpoint. And a lot of psychics will tell you, oh, say you have a family member die, and a family member might come visit you in a dream, and they'll always tell you they'll see you soon. And I believe that's because time is non-existent when you pass. So technically, you would die at the same time they die, which is why it's not really, they're not waiting for you per se. It's just when you die, it's at you're entering the same time as them. So it's like a snap of a finger to them. You'll be there instantly. So don't, if you have a family member die or you have a loved one die, live out your, don't take your life because their life is over. To them, you'll be there instantly because time only exists in this third dimensional realm. Time only exists here, not on Earth, but in this dimension. So don't take your life if you lost a loved one. It'll be it's instant. They'll see you soon. That's why a lot of what I was getting into, psychics will tell you, oh, they're watching over you. They know it's not a long wait, this, that, and the third, and that's like, because I'm telling you, time is only a construct in this dimension, and you're not going to be in this dimension when you pass. Now, you can kind of see and study what life path you're on. You can read a bit about Pythagoras and how he looked at reincarnation, and it has to do with your birthdays and these numbers that are imprinted when you're born kind of gives you that path you're on for this life and your strengths and weaknesses. And go with your strengths and weaknesses. There are ways to study what your attributes are. And some will call it demonic, and that's only for God to know, and this, that, and the third, but I don't know. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's demonic to use that. Good thing I got that off my shoulder before I started talking about the Hantavirus. Okay, let's get into the Hantavirus though. Enough of the yapping. This should be good. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to fit this in a 3-minute clip though. We'll see if I can cook. So complete yap, but that's what podcasts are. I guess it's just yap sessions, straight yap sessions. You got to get the minutes up. I can't just shoot 15 minutes. I would never get no watch hours shooting a 15-minute video. And people want to sit down, and people don't want to click your shit and only have 15 minutes, because most of the time when people want to hear someone talk about something or anything, they're at work or they're on a road trip, and they don't want to, they're going to go to something that's going to eat up some time. So maybe I helped you pass some time here. Let me know if I did. But I am going to start drinking caffeine. Because I remember when I first started, OGs know, I used to get sauced. I'd drink a Buzzball, maybe some liquor, smoke a blunt, and just be faded and just probably not make a lot of sense. I had to remove a lot of those videos. But I was spitting some shit though. There's people in my DMs telling me, because I remember I predicted the Tim Cook thing and everything happened that's going down with Apple and other predictions. I used to talk about sports. Baker, I told everyone, hey, take Baker Mayfield's under passing yards before the year started. The futures, he's gonna have a shit year. This, that, and the third. Same with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes ended up getting hurt. So my sports people remember Terrence Crawford. I called the Terrence Crawford underdog plus 160. Loaded up on that. I told everyone to load the fuck up on that, everybody. Now, of course, now that he won and he destroyed Canelo, oh, that was an easy pick. There was this, that, and the third. Well, if it was so easy, why didn't you put your money on it? Oh, I did. What'd you put on it? $50. I don't care. You didn't put no money on that. That's not money. Anyways, let's get into it, what everyone's here for. We've all heard by now about the people on the cruise ship catching the Hantavirus. It has a 40% kill rate if infected compared to COVID-19's sub 1%. Now, it is a lot harder to catch, but has a higher kill rate. Historically, this was never an airborne virus. This was passed through rat, poop, and pee. Now, the one on this cruise is airborne. This strain is a bit different. So to me, there are a lot of reasons why this looks planned. First, the sister of the guy who took the video crying inside the cabin works for a company called Haggerty Consulting. They are an emergency management and disaster recovery consulting firm. And there's only 2 videos of people on that boat. Now, most cruise ships, if something like this happened, lots of people would be fetching for clout. They'd be on TikTok Live, Facebook Live. They'd want to push this out and gain their little clout off this. There's no one else there's no other videos, just them 2. And the one person, the viral one where the guy's sitting there behind the camera crying, looking at a script, talking. Yeah, that's who his sister works for, a consulting firm that works with disaster events. So that's suspect. Now, the boat owners are the Van Gessel family. They're located in the Netherlands. Now, stay with me. Their ocean-wide expedition office is headquartered out of Vlissingen, Netherlands, which is the home territory for billionaire Dutch dynasty family named Van Vlissingen. So that city is named after them, and that's where the office is headquartered. Now, here's the connection. Marche Vettener van Vlissingen is a former director of the Erasmus Laboratory Animal Science Center in Rotterdam. She was associated with the Biomedical Primate Research Center and involved in studies related to vaccine evaluation and animal models for viral pathogens. In 2024, Korea University Vaccine Innovation Center collaborates with Moderna on mRNA-based hantavirus vaccine development. And just 3 weeks ago, they announced they are facing funding shortages, and the next generation of the hantavirus is at risk of collapse. Weird timing. Also in 2024, there was an investigation of hantavirus vials that went missing in a biolab in Australia from a freezer transfer. On October 2nd, 2025, there was a level 4 biolab built in Argentina. And Argentina is where the cruise departed from on April 1st. And if you look into October 2027, all I'm going to say is that date is specific to when their deadline for the Messiah comes back. So, 2-year timeline from when that lab was opened. The hantavirus is listed on Pfizer's 38-page document. And on page 33, it's one of 1,233 listed as an adverse side effect, which basically means if you get the vaccine, you are more susceptible to catching this virus. So, I don't know. Is the jab making it more, is that to make people more susceptible to catching this and spreading it easier to get rid of the people that fell for the jab? Debatable. There's a tweet from 2012 that said, overheard behind me while watching H5N1 NAS workshop today, quote unquote, you want to really make a pandemic? Make hantavirus human transmissible. And that's what this strain looks like it's capable of doing, because like we were saying earlier, originally this virus was only being able to pass through rat piss and rat poop. It wasn't human transmissible. You had to go and get in the attic and touch its rat shit and piss, and then you'd get infected, then you'd get fucked up. But now it's able to pass human to human, which makes it seem like this was made out of a biolab. Now, the 40 passengers who got off the cruise ship, seems like they're all scattered across different countries. They went home to Europe, Africa, all these countries. Like it's damn near set up to send them back and spread it in each part, of course. So just 2 weeks before the hantavirus news broke, the World Health Organization ran Exercise Polaris 2 on April 22nd and April 23rd, 2026. The simulation used a fictional deadly bacterium with a high mortality rate, and the real hantavirus has a death rate of 20 to 40%, so it looked like the drill was exactly on point. And the simulation, the drills, included cruise ship or travel-related scenarios, which is very similar to this expedition. In October 2019, that was this simulation of the coronavirus, and that exercise took place just a few months before the real COVID-19 outbreak. That's kind of a weird connection, how they're running these simulations that are almost identical to the events that actually went and took place. But yeah, that's probably about it. I'm going to wrap it up, take that last part. We're going to clip that part up, put it out there. Hope you guys enjoy this. I think this will probably cook on Spotify. We're about to get out there, boots on the ground. Let's do it. Appreciate everybody. Bob can count. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video. I'm gonna make sure I do caffeine before I shoot from here on, so I can just get in my bag, get my brain working. So, yes, sir.